Hey guys, welcome to the Asian Hustle Network podcast. My name is Brian.
And my name is Maggie.
And we interview Asian entrepreneurs around the world to amplify their voices and empower Asians to pursue their dreams and goals.
We believe that each person has a message and a unique story from their entrepreneurial journey that they can share with all of us. Hi everyone, welcome to the Asian Hustle Network podcast. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Washington Ho, and he is an American-Vietnamese best known for appearing on HBO Max reality TV House of Ho. House of Ho, the multi-generational family docusoap, chronicles the daily lives of patriarch Binh Ho, matriarch Hue Ho, their daughter Judy Ho, their son Washington Ho, and his wife Lesley Ho, Aunt Tina, and cousin Sammy. Power couple Binh and his wife Hue immigrated from Vietnam to the United States with little money, relying on hard work to establish the ultimate American dream. They have built a multi-million-dollar bank, a real estate development company, and a new generation of American Hos. The series pulls back the curtain of their lavish Houston lifestyle and showcases the tight family connections that unite them, as well as the multi-generational outrageous drama that ensues. Washington, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited to have you here, Washington. So let's start with the question. What is your upbringing like growing up? Are your parents very traditional Asian parents?
My upbringing growing up, it was all I felt every day was blessed. And I'm grateful for that because my parents worked so hard and instilled good values. And, being Vietnamese and being able to celebrate a different tradition and culture, I felt like was the best of, both worlds because I was in America. My father was a cool father. He spent time with kids. And my mother, very traditional Vietnamese, cooked every day at a certain time, spanked you when you needed it. And at the end of the day, she forgave me for everything. So,
Wow, I could totally relate to that. Childhood, I'm also Vietnamese, and my parents would make sure I'm always staying disciplined by spanking me as well.
I think similar to a lot of Asian parents as well.
Yeah.
And so why did your family choose to be in Houston, Texas? And how has growing up in that area affected your Asian identity, if at all?
Well, my family, my parents immigrated to America in 1975. My father was an officer in the Vietnam War and had already trained at the Air Force Base in San Antonio in 1971 and loved America. And so when they came to America, they were sponsored where a lot of Vietnamese immigrants were in Fort Chaffee, Arkansas. Their first sponsor was in Kerrville, Texas, which is about 3 hours south of Houston. And, in Kerrville, it's a great town, it's a small town. My mother learned English there at Shriner College, and her sponsors were great people. But my father, when he went to Houston, it was very similar to the climate in Vietnam. And he was like, man, Galveston, the beach, it was only like 2 hours away. It reminded me of Wing Yung, which is an area in Vietnam. And so that's why they went there. My mom's from Long Sieng, where there's water. And they felt like he was supporting 11 brothers and sisters as well. Both of his parents and his 3 cousins. So it was very affordable. There was other Vietnamese there and great, what he would say is in Kerrville, there were only like hamburger restaurants, but in Houston, he could find places where they had pickled pork feet and they would cook that.
Yeah. Well, I really like that a lot. I mean, my family as well from Vietnam. My mom's from Nha Trang. My dad from the countryside. So when it came to choosing a place, my parents actually started in Washington, D.C. But then my mom's like, I can't handle anywhere that snows because it never snows in Vietnam. Feels like horrible over here. And she actually saw a commercial on TV of California or in Houston. They're like, wow, it's close to the water. It reminds me of home, reminds me of the climate. But I think from like a spelling error, we kind of ended up in California instead of texting.
Right.
They couldn't really speak English that well, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So what type of business does your family do, and how did your family become so successful?
As you know, Judy, myself, I'm the middle child, my brother Reagan, we were growing up. We always saw our parents working very hard. We saw their work ethic. We saw my father, work 2-3 jobs a day. We saw my mom, work and Circle K, starting off sweeping floors, and in 2 years became the manager of the store and trained a lot of Vietnamese. And my father, he's a visionary. He's a guy that dreams big. Mm-hmm. And when I say big, I mean big. Mm-hmm. And it's not for anything else, but that he felt like when he was in a country like America, the only way you could fail is if you didn't try. Mm-hmm. How we felt about this show. It was an opportunity. And, when the Hos play with house money, we're going all out. So we had a good time, and we're grateful that HBO allowed us to share our story, and we hope to inspire other Vietnamese and Asians around the world.
Yeah, I'll talk from firsthand. I'm inspired by the show. I'm inspired by what you guys are doing for with your family and HBO. And I can say on behalf of the Asian Hustle Network that we're really excited to be supporting this.
Yeah, it was one of the things where we saw it on TV and we were just so inspired because we know that, there's more Asian representation on national television. And with that being said, we'd love to know, how did the inspiration for House of Ho transpire? What was the original inspiration, and how did you guys come up with this idea? And have you always referred to your family as the House of Ho, even before you began to work with the production teams to air this show? And what does House of Ho mean to you?
First of all, that's a great question. It's a very important question. To my family, we're all about legacy. As you can see, from the day I was born, my name was Washington. There was no way I was going to run away from it. Reagan, there's no way to run from it. And my father, his way of coaching us and grooming us was to be leaders. Mm-hmm. And when you're named Washington after the first president of America, that manifests into yourself. And so I felt like Asians, we needed to, stand up more and be more proud of our culture. And I felt like for, all my American friends and neighbors are like, man, Washington, how come you never told us about pho when we were in high school? I was like, dude, I did tell you, dude. And they're like, dude, the thing's amazing. And so, as people started loving the Asian culture and the Vietnamese culture, I felt like as a businessman, with how successful Netflix has been, streaming is going to be global. We're all humans. Why not take an opportunity? And I felt like it would be fun to work together again. It had been a while since my family had seen an opportunity where it was more of a unit. And also, behind every successful man is a very strong lady. My mother, she's the rock of our family. And for my wife to support me, I hope one day somebody walks into a restaurant and says, hey, Mr. Ho, are you Washington Ho's father? So it was a way for me to step out of his shadows, and hopefully I can help other people open doors for people that are true artists, that study the craft and are very, starving artists. And I feel like if, somebody like me who has no reason really to be in Hollywood, then, I would learn the business, and hopefully I can open up doors and finance movies and things that I love to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that you are bringing more light to not only, Asian culture, but Vietnamese culture, and, just bringing more representation to all of us in general.
I'm sorry. Can I say something that's really important?
Of course.
The Kardashians really inspired us. We see their success. We see how much they love each other. We see that they're not afraid to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And so when we saw that kind of family, not the money, not the success, but just the love. Mm-hmm. And we saw Crazy Rich Asians, right? My birthday, I'm a Leo, August 15th. Mm-hmm. So Crazy Rich Asians came out on August 18th, 2018. Mm-hmm. And my wife took me to the movie. And of course, I was too cool to see Asian, movies or shows, because I really didn't like, to be honest, I thought Fresh Off the Boat was a playoff FOB, which I had been called a few mm-hmm. times. Right. I didn't think make, my son or daughter feel, proud. Mm-hmm. Nothing against that, but Crazy Rich Asians came out, and I felt like, look, there's momentum. It's on our side. We better jump all in and take it, mm-hmm. or else, in business, people will forget very soon.
Oh, yes, mm-hmm. definitely. And I love that you're continuing that wave. And I feel like we're currently on a really big wave for us to bring more representation to Asian culture. And with that, what do you hope to achieve with House of Ho? And what is that one message that you want to convey to viewers with this show?
That love always wins. Love always wins.
Wow.
Love it. Very simple, very direct, very straightforward.
Yeah, that's something my parents tell me all the time. Love always win. Mm-hmm. Lead with your heart. Mm-hmm. Show everyone that you're a good person, and then prove it to the world. Make the world a better place. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I feel like you're doing.
And I think I'm very impressed by both of you. You don't look like normal Vietnamese that you got the long hair going. She's got, and it's just like. Right, but it's cool to see that our generation, right, our parents sacrificed so much that we should be really taking advantage of the American dream.
Yeah.
And we help each other be more engaged, more in tune, instead of seeing who drives a better car mm-hmm. or who has Birkin first. Yeah. And, let's spend our resources to find our passion. And that's what I want to do.
Absolutely agree. And I also feel like we're also in a generation where we're owning up to our heritage. Mm-hmm. We're proud, really proud of who we are. Mm-hmm. We're not taking a backseat to anyone. We're not showing anyone that we're not hiding our lunches anymore. Mm-hmm. This is my culture, is my food.
We are going to take a backseat to someone. And you see it go, right? When I take a backseat to my wife, Lesley Ho.
And something we both have in common here, because I take it back to the Maggie all the time.
Are y'all married? Is that?
Not yet.
Man, don't worry. I'm an ordained minister. I'll perform at your wedding.
Oh, thank you.
We're trying to move next year and start a House of Fam. Okay.
House of Ho is just our family legacy, and that's our team. And I've tried to do. All my life, tried every other business that my family's on in. I've been in the energy business. I'm on a healthcare company. Mm-hmm. I've had startups, and I always wanted to do. I was proud to be my father's son, but I didn't want to be known as, oh, that's Binh Ho's son.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The nice things that I was mm-hmm. blessed to have to be the only reason that people wanted to talk to me. So I had to find something to do, and I'm glad that you guys really embraced this our family. And we're very mm-hmm. We just feel great,
Yeah.
Been a tough year for everybody, and hopefully this makes people laugh, mm-hmm. makes people forget that mm-hmm. That whatever color you are, whoever mm-hmm. you are, in the day, we're all human.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely agree. And what you're doing is very aligned with our mission statement. Mm-hmm. When we first started Asian Hustle Network, we wanted more Asians in media. We wanted more mm-hmm. Asians in higher and investment corporate ladders. And you fit all three of the bill. Mm-hmm. You are a walking mission statement.
Because when I saw Asian Hustle Network, hustle, and that word, I was like, what kind of, group is this? What does it mean? What does this Facebook group mean? Mm-hmm. And my brother turned me on to it more. Mm-hmm. And really good group. And thanks for having me.
Of course. We're happy to have you too. So how do you view Asian representation in mainstream media? And what do you think we need to do as a community to push for better and more representation in Asian culture?
I think it's time for us to, aim for the stars, and go for it, because the world needs our stories. They need news stories. As Vietnamese, we know that there's more to Vietnam than the war.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have fun, and let's really, really show how grateful we are to this country that gives us the opportunity and the freedom to choose, how we want to live and who we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, we have to honor the people that weren't allowed to come to America by being that person and giving back to the country and giving hope. And that's what the show is about, hope.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Next question?
Yeah. And so what does the future look like for House of Ho, and what will you hope to accomplish in the next 5 to 10 years, Washington?
Well, I'm Washington Ho.
Mm-hmm.
The sky's the limits. And that's the way the Ho's do things. So we always look at potential. We look at how it fits into our daily lives, if it adds a quality of life to our family, to our kids, to our legacy, to our communities, and to each other. And I hope that in 5 to 10 years, our, wonderful, my dad's grandchildren, Judy's 3 kids, Kennedy, Truman, and McKinley, my kids, Roosevelt and Lincoln,
Mm-hmm.
They'll want to, help us out and maybe have some fun and
Mm-hmm.
share with the world how the multi-generational Vietnamese and Asian families are very proud of what they do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed a trend right here. All the president names are in your family. I heard Roosevelt, I heard McKinley.
My sister took the names that I wanted. I always told her when I was young, I go, when I have a daughter, her name's be Kennedy. It's so cool. I love JF.
Oh, I love that name.
Mm-hmm.
And she had the first one. She took it from, I'm like, Judy, that's good. And then I go, okay, you're going to do that. And then I had my son, Roosevelt,
Mm-hmm.
and he was Duc Thone, right? Because I'm the Duc Thone and my dad's a Duc Thone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was born on President's Day during election year, February 16, 2016. I felt like it was a sign from God. I felt like, the world needed a leader like that. And that's what my family's about. We're about our legacy and how we can help everybody and share with everybody what we've learned and what we've done. And, we've been through everything. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've never been through something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, this pandemic's been tough for everybody. And we just hope that everyone has hope and tries to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs today who want to get started?
I would say, keep trying, keep dreaming big
Mm-hmm.
until you find your passion, and do it for love. And at the end of the day, if, money's the result of your success, then you're blessed. But if it's not, you'll still be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really powerful advice.
Yeah, love it. And how can our listeners learn more about you, Washington?
More about me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where can they find you online?
Well, I have, some, ideas, and me and my father have been brainstorming in my family about how we might be able to share more. My father's very knowledgeable in, philosophy, business, and vision. And, he agreed with me to help share more of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there might be, you never know, podcasts or other things like that. But you got to hear it from us.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you hear about us, the good stuff is true.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, that stuff is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's really good advice.
Yeah, very true. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Washington. Some really big takeaways. Not only are you bringing just more representation for Asian culture, but you are leaving your own legacy, and you are an exemplary example of that. So thank you so much for doing that, and just setting that foundation for future generations. Your kids, your grandkids. It is such a great example to all of them for us to just express ourselves as the way we are as Asians.
Yep. So as a reminder for our listeners, when is your show air, and how can they tune in?
December 10th on HBO Max.
That is right.
All 7 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get inspired, and let's have fun.
Let's do it. We'll have that in our show notes, and we'll have like a watch party inside our community as well, to support Washington and his family.
And one thing I want to make that's important is it's not about my legacy. It's about, our family's legacy, about, the Vietnam legacy, the American legacy. And at the end of the day, I couldn't, me, honestly, I can't do anything alone. I have to have the support. Washington Ho needs love. And so thank you so much. And, have a, wonderful holiday, and I can't wait to talk to you after the show.
Yeah, sounds
Likewise.
great. Thank you, Washington.
Thank you so much, Washington.
Don't forget to invite me to your wedding.
Yes, definitely.
You'll be there.
Hoes will come. Season 2.
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to the show.
We would like to get to the top 10 on iTunes, so be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We release an episode every single Wednesday, so stay tuned.
Thank you guys so much.